In this video, I will show you some of the new REST API calls that were added to Nerdio Manager for Azure Virtual Desktop in version 2.11. As always, to look at API calls, we're going to go to Settings, Integrations, and look at our Swagger documentation. So we're going to click right here, and that's going to open up our Swagger documentation. And there are about 7 or 8 different API calls that were added to both get and update the various properties available on a host pool. So let's take a look at some of those. So for example, we now have the ability to update Active Directory. We can update FSLogic settings. We can get and modify the WVD settings, things like maximum number of sessions, VM start VM on connect, and everything else that's available on the WVD properties tab. We can modify the VM deployment, which includes things like various triggers, attaching scripted actions to VM deployment, the ability to install GPU drivers, everything that's visible on the VM deployment page. We can also update session timeouts. We can update various schedules. We can update Azure tags, RDP properties, etc. So basically everything that's available on the properties page of a host pool. So if we go into our host pool configuration and we take a look under properties, all of these options are now available via API. So for those of you who love automation and who have configured or want to configure a very standardized deployment of new host pools, you can now do that through API. You can run all sorts of verifications to make sure that all of your host pools have the proper property set for everything. So those are the first set of APIs. The next API has to do with scripted actions. It is now possible to create and modify as well as delete scripted actions. And it's also possible to trigger the execution of scripted actions here as well. So you can cause it to either run now or run on a schedule. And you can also add, remove, and delete secure variables that are often used by scripted actions. And that are, I believe, all the API calls. So there's about 10 or so new API calls available with Nerdio Manager 2.11 that further extend your ability to automate and integrate with other systems that you may have running in your environment to make the most use of Azure Virtual Desktop with Nerdio Manager as the control plane for that environment. Hope you found this useful, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.